What an honor it is to work in an organization with such great legacy like Amnesty International. There are few organizations that I can think of with history so deeply rooted and with valuing the creative force of artists, with understanding the role that artists play in fighting for human rights and fighting for civil rights and fighting for dignity. It is in that intersection between activism and art where we're going to have radical dreaming, where we're going to be able to envision what a just future, where we're going to be able to imagine what justice looks like.
This is for the people around the people who actually are trying to change themselves. Sometimes the people around us that keep us down and keep us in bondage have to work together to try to break these chains. And if we can break these chains, then we can kind of really make the future a better place.
When I look at my son and I look at pictures of my son, I say to myself, this could have been anybody's son. And so we have to make a difference. You cannot wait until this happens in your household. We have to respect each other just enough to say to yourself that even though I might not agree with that person's sexual orientation, their education, I might not agree with their point of views, I might not even agree with their political choice, but I have to respect that person as a human being.
You know, I can't walk through these walls anymore without getting choked up. And the work is really, really intense and very honest, very powerful. Over 150 artists with over 275 works of art here in the gallery, and those are visual artists. Not to mention all the poets, the dancers, and the 50 hours plus of DJs that are playing here. Not to mention the writers, the weavers. We had the gardeners out front. There was creativity bursting at the seams here.
So it actually several pieces to set up, but certainly the Statue of Liberty and the piece that I took a picture by as well, the Ferguson police car, that an artist in some imaginative way reconstructed and created another narrative for the Ferguson police car. But more than anything else, I think the exhibit demonstrates the kind of rich history of struggle, the rich history of resistance to oppressive conditions, and how that manifests itself or how it is articulated with young artists is what's so incredible.
There's a piece of art that I saw in here, and it was a photo of probably 50 to 100 men from death row. And as the closer you got to the picture, the more you got a chance to really understand what the little writing was on the picture. And it was their last words. And it was extremely touching, you know, really to understand that a lot of those guys were innocent, like they died innocent. It's all about the truth, man. I think we all have to get to a point where we understand we're all human and we have to stand up for what's right.
My name is Bird Running Water. I belong to the Cheyenne and Mescalero Apache tribes, and I work for Sundance Institute. I was brought in to moderate the panel of the Rebel Music documentary screening.
This particular episode, the original version of it was, which came out in November, has been viewed 4.6 million times. It's the most shared piece of, most viewed and shared piece of media MTV's actually ever put out on social media.
The way that I've looked at rebel music in my life is, and in my work, is that it's two things. It's a lifeline and it's a battering ram.
From the red to the
never been a progressive, radical, or revolutionary movement that's been successful without a great soundtrack. So start with that, and and it changes individuals' lives all the time. And makes you connect, helps people who have a vision of the world that's different from what might be around them to connect on a global level. Music can do that in an instant.
When we look at a picture that's filled with beautiful colors, we realize, and we do not only just individualize these single images and say the black in that color is beautiful, the blue in that color is beautiful, but we see it in its entirety. And I think that's a message for all of us to realize that that's a message to humanity, and the fact that when all colors come together, there's a beauty in that, there's a respect to that. It is our challenge and our responsibility to make sure that others see that, because for far too long, our images have been forced to be painted in black and white.
I'm talking to you tonight because this is something that if we don't show where our hearts really lie, where our minds really lie, it's not gonna change. And I really hope that Manifest Justice and Art for Amnesty can be a real catalyst for change.
It's great to be here with a bunch of like-minded artists who are talking about social justice issues, whether it's police brutality, income inequality, racism. There's so many things that can be addressed through art that have a different kind of impact than, say, an editorial to a newspaper or a piece of writing. And I'm always encouraging people who make art and make music to use it to say something. So it's great to have that fostered and incubated here.
Amnesty International is actually engaged with artists because they have their own voice, man. It's organic and it speaks for the people. So to be able to attach yourself to artists such as this is such an amazing way to speak without violence.
It's great that Amnesty is supporting this because I think that this creates a snowball effect when people see this kind of work and they realize that there are other voices that feel the same way they do and that it makes a difference to share it. That creates a ripple effect. So I'm grateful to Amnesty for supporting that.
Art isn't just about showing us what's wrong in the world, but it's also about creating a new paradigm.
If you believe that art can transform the world, let me hear you make some noise. Word. I know you do because you're sitting here. You're sitting in here tonight.
So why not just walk out there, stark naked, but with wings? Exposing yourself to everything and everything to yourself with no fear of being judged for what you say or what you do. Why can't you just learn to love being you and allow me to be me? And why can't we see that though our wings come in various shapes, sizes, colors, and patterns, we are all butterflies in the end, so it doesn't even matter anymore how beautiful you think your wings are. What matters is how strong have they become from use. Because what is the purpose in you being a butterfly if you spend your entire life inside of a cocoon?
Art should be at the core of what we do. And certainly at Amnesty, it's the core of what we do. Because it really is the language of freedom and justice. And those things are not exclusive to anybody, but they're open to all of us.